What's up, patrons, and welcome to Between Two Suns. I'm sorry that it's been like 3 months since our last episode of this.
Yeah, we kind of dropped the ball on this one. I want to say that we've been busy, but that sounds a little bit like
I mean,
a
we
poor
have been
excuse.
busy, but
Yeah.
it's like we should have done better.
Yeah.
And we will hopefully do better in 2019. But
I'm going to blame lack of Star Wars news.
oh, I thought you were just going to blame me.
I'm going to blame you and lack of Star Wars news.
I'm going to blame you. But yeah, we wanted to do like let's wrap up 2018 and then look forward to 2019.
Yeah.
And just talk about the past year in Star Wars. So, let's kick things off with movies. What was your favorite Star Wars movie to come out in 2018?
Solo.
That's a good choice.
Probably Solo, yeah.
I can't blame you for that one.
The only movie to come out.
Now that it's been out for 7 months, how are you feeling about it? Or what was your first reaction to it?
Honestly, my first reaction was not really impressed. I was just like, meh.
I remember walking out and my review with my friends was good enough.
Yeah.
Like, I had a good time. It didn't blow me away, but I liked it overall.
There were points in the story that kind of lost me, but that's easy to do with me. It's hard to keep my attention.
You do prefer television to movies, that's for sure. Hey there, Pippin.
Hi, Pippin.
But yeah, it's a movie that has definitely I've warmed up to it over the past few months, especially since we've gotten to see it more. I mean, ever since we got it on home video, I think we've watched it 4 times. So I don't know, maybe just that repetition has endeared it to me now.
Yeah, definitely, because we had to watch it to study for the Schmodown. We watched it to do a commentary. We watched it with his parents for the first time.
It was a lot in like just a matter of a week.
Yeah.
But I every time I see it, I like it more. And I will say that I think most of my issues with it are more, and these were things that I said before the movie came out, is like, I don't want it to be like this run through of everything Han Solo ever did. And it kind of was that.
Yeah.
We got the Kessel Run, and although it was a fun sequence, it's just he met Chewie. Like, all this stuff happened right there, like in this one set of days. And that seemed like a little much for me, but it's still fun. It's a fun ride.
I did really, really enjoy the first scene that we got with Chewbacca, like meeting him and how he was kind of like supposedly this scary monster that has been eating like prisoners and stuff, and I loved that scene.
I did like that. I mean, I love Chewie in the movie, although I will say that I think their relationship is part of what disappointed me, because I love like the Poe Finn dynamic so much, and seeing them become best friends. I wanted a little more of that from Han and Chewie, and we get to see them become friends, but I don't know, it just wasn't like as big of a deal. And now I feel like a hypocrite saying like, I didn't want him to make a big deal out of like the Kessel Run and this and that, but it's like I did want to. I don't know, I'm just being picky.
Yeah, I mean, like when they're at Kessel and Chewie's like, I'm gonna go this way, and Han is like, well, that sucks, but okay, good luck. Like, I feel like that scene should have been heavier.
Yeah, it's like they didn't know each other that well, and I guess that is kind of the moment as they escape Kessel when Chewbacca's like, oh, I do like this kid.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of this kid, Alden Ehrenreich, I loved. I thought he was superb. Mm-hmm. He was my biggest concern going into the movie, and not once was I like, nah, that's not Han.
I think he nailed it.
I can't say enough good things about him, because I just there wasn't one point where I was like, well, this just doesn't feel like Han to me, and he's letting me down. It's like, no, I feel bad because like he killed it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if we could get a sequel or not, but it's like I want him to continue playing Han because he did so good.
Yeah. I want to see more of Crimson Dawn.
Yeah.
I hope that we get another story with Crimson Dawn and with Kira.
It's kind of, it's making me think. I'm glad that like the Skywalker saga is wrapping up, because I think that we need to get away from the stuff that we're very familiar with. I think it's going to be freeing for Star Wars. They'll be able to do so much more, and we won't have to deal with this emotional baggage. And Solo's kind of the same way. Like, the things I really loved about it were the new things, Crimson Dawn, and like what's Maul and Kira up to. I'm very intrigued in all that in the criminal underworld.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they've gotten all this Kessel Run, like the stuff that we know, out of the way, if they were to do a Solo 2, they could do anything. Like Solo 2, I'm like, yeah, I want that, compared to Solo 1, where I was like, I don't need it.
Yeah, I really want to see Han and Chewie go to Tatooine.
Yeah.
And see what they get into while they're there.
I want to see more just criminal underworld stuff, and what are the politics with that, because so many Star Wars stories have to do with, I don't know, Republic or Separatists, Empire rebels, and still basically Empire rebels in the sequel trilogy. So the criminal side of things is a little refreshing to see in a film. Yeah. Anything more to add to that as the cats battle each other?
As far as Solo?
Yeah. We didn't talk about Lando at all. Loved Lando.
Yeah, I did like Lando. There were a couple of points where it was on the verge of being a little too corny. Like when I know you like this line, but when he goes like, shh, the grown-ups are talking, not a big fan of that line.
I like that one. But that's mostly because I have since gifted it and used it on Twitter.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I loved Lando. I loved L3 and like their relationship. I mean, a lot of people said that, oh, another droid for comedic relief, but I just really loved her character and how sassy she was. And then her becoming part of the Millennium Falcon. I know there was some controversy around that. I think that it is a good, I don't know, continuity.
I liked it too.
Thing. Because C-3PO is like, they said something about the Millennium Falcon having a mind of its own. Or...
Where did your computer learn to talk? It has a very peculiar dialect.
Yeah.
Learn to communicate. Quotes. See, Schmodown quotes are always going to get me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I liked that idea. And in the moment, I was like, this is really cool. I can see why some people are like, not crazy about it, because it is like, you spent all this time with this character saying droids are sentient, like we are living, we're people, and then to have that character specifically like shoved into this computer for the rest of its existence.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like L3 is still clearly trapped in there. It's like this Black Mirror thing where someone's consciousness is just stuck forever. So like, if you think about it that way, yeah, that's rough. But I don't think that's what they were intending.
Right.
Their thought was like, this is a fun connection.
And it's also like, she talks about her feelings for Lando, and ultimately she kind of sacrifices herself to save them. Not willingly exactly, but I mean, I feel like if she was given the choice, you know, instead of just letting her die and be torn apart, you know, she would have wanted to help them and allow them to use her maps.
The Solo novelization did what it could for that, and basically said that, yeah, she was like on board with what was happening, even though she didn't get to say it. She's like, yeah, if I were given a choice, this is what I would do. It's like they did what they could with what, or Mur Lafferty, the author, she did what she could with what was given to her.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe helped some people. I don't know.
Jumping ahead a little bit, I hope in episode 9 we get a scene with Lando going on the Falcon.
And like touching that computer part and saying like, hey girl. Something say it all smooth like that. Hey girl.
I would get so choked up.
That would be a nice connection. And I wonder how much these filmmakers collaborate. Like, the dice were a thing that seemed like it was going to be a through line from The Force Awakens. They got cut from The Force Awakens, but they were included, and then The Last Jedi, and then Solo. So I assume that they're doing stuff like that, and I think that would be nice. I would also, speaking of, well, yeah, we didn't talk about the music at all, but we love the score.
Yeah.
And I would love, now that John Powell has written a theme for Chewbacca, or even John Williams having written one for Han Solo, I'd love it if those themes popped up in Episode 9 somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chewbacca obviously sounds more likely than Han, but...
Ooh, what if Kylo Ren, part of his redemption, they play Han's theme?
Could be. Or if he's, like, looking at an old holo or something.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, the music was fantastic.
Yeah,
and
I really love it.
The Enfys Nest and, like, the Cloud Rider gang, all that stuff was really, really cool. And I hope we get to see more of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another thing that, yeah, the unknown is more intriguing to me. And yeah, let's explore that. And again, the Solo novelization has a scene with Enfys and Saw Gerrera and a young Jyn Erso, and that's really cool. So, fortunately, with Disney Plus, who knows? Like, they might be able to go all in on Alden Ehrenreich and have him continue on as Han. I think that'd be great if they don't do a sequel movie, but
anything can happen.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to our 2 TV shows from Star Wars this past year, which was Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars Resistance. What would you call the TV show of the year?
I mean, Rebels, obviously.
Yeah.
Resistance is great so far, but it's not a show for adults, really. We're enjoying it and watching it because we want to report on it and talk about it. And also, there are some little tidbits in the show that, you know, are callbacks to other things that are pretty cool. But Rebels ended with an insane bang. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a little unfair to treat or compare season 1 of Resistance
Sure.
to the end of Star Wars Rebels. But yeah, it's night and day. Although I'll say that Resistance so far has started off a lot like Rebels season 1 did for me, where I'm like, this is good enough for me to keep watching. Oh my gosh. Cruel little monster. I'm like, it's good enough for me to enjoy it and keep watching. But it hasn't had that moment yet where I like really get into it. And that didn't happen for me in Rebels until near the end of season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still kind of expecting that moment where it's going to grow up. He's attacking your butt now, isn't he?
My socks.
Aw,
I'm sitting on my feet.
that cat. People want him in the podcast, and then he just attacks us. They want to see more Pippin. Well, he's a monster.
I know we're going through Clone Wars right now, but I cannot wait until we get to go through Rebels again because I'm desperate to rewatch the last season of Rebels.
Yeah. I'm excited to revisit season 1 of Rebels, honestly, because I haven't seen it since I think it was first on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say that I didn't start Rebels until near the end of its first season. Like, I saw it in the marketing for it, and I was like, this is not for me. It's too childish. I'm not interested. But then we were doing the channel, and I was like, I guess I have an obligation to do it. I needed to watch it for Dragon Con trivia anyway. So we started watching
Everything starts out because of trivia.
Yeah, it's if you trace this whole channel back, it's trivia. So yeah, I was like, all right, we'll give it a shot. And then it turned into something where I was like, okay, I'm looking forward to watching this every week. And then we didn't even start covering it until the end of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I missed the boat. But also, Rebels has changed my attitude about Star Wars in a way where I'm like, just because it doesn't look like it's for me, and I think I like Resistance's art style more than Rebels,
Mm-hmm.
or at least my initial reaction to it was more positive to Resistance than what I saw from Rebels. I was like, oh, that looks way too childish.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I'm willing to at least give everything a shot because Rebels wound up being so good. in season 4.
Yep.
And earlier. But I guess we should talk about Resistance, though, a little bit.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite moment so far? I'm having to think myself. I think my favorite episode was the one with the kids from the unknown regions, and the First Order shows up to look for them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just like the way the First Order is treated right now.
Yeah.
They're treated as like this strange novelty.
Yeah. I like this new female character that we've got.
The pirate?
Yeah, that we don't know much about her yet, but there's already toys of her, so I'm assuming that she's going to be sticking around. And so
I can't remember her name.
she's really intriguing to me. I'm excited to see more of her.
Yeah, I think she's going to wind up being some sort of, like, at first she's bad, but then she's good because she sees how kind the people of the Colossus are.
Yeah, and we haven't gotten hardly any of Griff yet, and
I know.
We've already talked about our excitement for him.
That's Ken Knapsack has a shirt with, like, it's like an Imperial logo, but then his, like, Griff's helmet with the skull painted on it. I want it, and I can't find it online anywhere. I need that shirt. It looks so cool.
Yeah.
And just, the idea of an ex-Imperial pilot who's now living out, like, I want to see how he feels about the First Order.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of really interesting things going on with those characters.
Yeah.
And the more we get to know them, the more excited I am about the show. And I do think that as the show returns for its second half of season 1 in 2019, which, I don't know, we can talk about that in the 2019 part, but I think it's going to grow up a little bit like Rebels did.
Sure.
I feel like books were kind of lacking this year. There just weren't as many.
Yeah.
What was your favorite one that you read? I can't remember. I know you didn't read all of them.
Yeah.
I can't remember which ones you did read.
I really enjoyed Thrawn Alliances. I mean, just reading the back and forth between Anakin and Thrawn and Vader and Thrawn, that was a lot of fun for me.
It did have a lot of entertaining moments. The one that sticks out to me right away is when Thrawn recommends they go down to that planet incognito, and Vader's like, "Are you serious?" Which, I don't know. Vader for me kind of works best when he doesn't talk much, but that was really funny.
Yeah.
I found his dialogue to be easy to read, I guess. Not easy to read, but just it worked on paper. I don't think it would have worked as well on screen.
Yeah. And the way that I consume books for the most part these days is I will listen to the audiobook and read a physical copy of the book just to be fully immersed. And the audiobooks are fantastic. And I love listening to Thrawn talk his parts in the book.
Yeah, he's great. Pippin. He's going to give himself a bath on the table. I think that my favorite book of the year, though, was Last Shot.
Yeah, I was about to say, I remember you saying that you really, really enjoyed that one. I started it. I don't think I finished it. I'm bad at that.
So Thrawn Alliances kind of suffered for me because I loved Thrawn 1 so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, this one just wasn't as good for me.
Yeah.
And so I found it to be a little disappointing, even though I think it is a good book. Last Shot, I was like, I don't know what to expect, but I'm excited because it's like exploring post Return of the Jedi, which is new, mostly new. We haven't seen that a whole lot. We're getting more Lando. So there were some elements that I was excited about. And then Daniel Jose Older, who wrote the book, I thought writes their voices very well.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
Like, one of my favorite book moments this year is when they run into a Gungan who's like an administrator somewhere. And I think Han says, like, let me handle this. And he's like, how you doing? And the guy's like, let me stop you right there. We don't all talk like that. That's kind of racist. And I was like,
God.
That is funny. So I really appreciated some of the humor he got in there. Didn't really care for the villain. But the overall story I thought was pretty cool. It wasn't like this galactic, the world's gonna end thing. It was just kind of a small, well, that's not exactly true. But it felt like a smaller story, and I liked that.
I liked that we got a good bit of information about what Lando was up to,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that's going to be important for his role in episode 9.
I think that's
Or at least
potential.
I hope that they somehow tie that in, or it gets mentioned.
Whether it's his work with droids or his, not wife yet, but his long-term partner.
Yeah, or like down the road, if there's like a comic version and, you know, the novelization of episode 9, I would like to see some tie-ins with Lando's stuff from Last Shot and then Lando's stuff from episode 9.
Yeah. Another solo tie-in book was Most Wanted, and I liked that quite a bit. That was like a YA book about Han and Kira and their first interactions, and I thought that was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
The YA books in general have been a lot of fun, really easy to read, so that helps.
Yeah.
I'll say the book that surprised me most was The Mighty Chewbacca in the Forest of Fear.
Yeah.
I read that kind of like Rebels. I was like, well, I'll read it. And it took me by surprise how much fun it was. There was like an Indiana Jones type character, and Chewie gets like forced to go on this mission where they're looking for a treasure, and like it tied back with a lot of dark side stuff. There were cameos I wasn't expecting. So like if you've got some younger readers that are looking for a Star Wars book, or if you just want to read it, I would recommend it, honestly.
Yeah, and I forget the female character's name in that book.
I do too.
But I remember like getting really excited to learn about her.
She had like her culture was pretty interesting. Like they're humans, but they have markings on their face and foreheads.
Yeah.
That they change. Like their belief system is that if I need luck, I will draw the design of luck on my forehead or face. Or if I am sad, I'll do this to help me with that. And I don't know. That was a cool little cultural thing that I appreciated. I don't think there were many other books. I feel like I'm definitely missing some, but
the Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
Vader book.
Again, surprising.
Surprisingly dark.
Yeah, that is like a straight up children's picture book almost with a few words. But I remember at one point we were like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah, and it's like, I mean,
it's real.
Almost every story involving Vader goes back to how much he's constantly suffering, and even in this kid's book, it's like he's real sad and always sad and suffering.
Yeah. I wonder if that part of that is just like we have such low expectations going in that we're like, well, this was really good, but whatever, it was good.
Yeah.
All right, moving things right along, let's talk about comics, which we probably won't talk for long about because you don't really read the comics.
I mean, I read some of them. Not really, but I'll read the really exciting ones.
Yeah.
Like I read the last couple of Darth Vader ones.
Yeah, I'll show you the ones that I think you'll enjoy. But I mean, yeah, you already brought it up. The Darth Vader comic is the one to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best Star Wars comic I think I've ever read.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Charles Soule deserves all the credit for that story because it's insanely good.
I am glad that he is already saying, like, I'm not done with Star Wars. He's got more coming. Thank goodness, because everything he's done so far has been very good. He did Vader, he did the Lando comic, and I think the Obi-Wan and Anakin comic. And that one I found to be just okay. But who cares? The Lando and the Darth Vader comic more than make up for, like, one story being okay.
Yeah.
Because, holy cow.
Has the Age of Resistance and Republic, have those come out yet?
The Republic ones have started.
Okay.
So far, at the time of this recording, we've gotten the Qui-Gon and the Darth Maul one. Obi-Wan comes out next week. But both of those were great. And weirdly, the last issue of Vader, I would say, connected with them very well thematically. Just a lot of stuff with the Force and like visions and what it shows people and why. Really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm going to miss that Vader comic. And it's like every time they decide to end, the last Vader comic also ended at issue 25. And I was like, this is good too. Why are you stopping? But it's like, if that's the story they wanted to tell, and they have told it, and they told it well. I would much rather have 25 perfect issues than like, let's keep this going for hundreds of issues to where no one likes it anymore and it just dies.
Every time I think that there can not be any more Vader material, there is.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, they're not going to stop.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, part of me is like, come on, man, we've had so much Vader already. Let's get some new stuff. But then it comes out with all these amazing stories, and yeah, like you said, I think that there's even still more to tell.
Well, that we've got the Vader Dark Visions comic that was, I think it's replacing the Shadow of Vader series that Chuck Wendig was going to do. But yeah, like I'm with you in that when they announced that, the Dark Vision series and Shadow of Vader, I was kind of like, okay, we just had a Vader comic. Like, I'm ready for new things. Like, we don't have to keep doing this era. New Republic or just new characters. Like Dr. Aphra. I remember when they announced that series and I was like, why? Like, we have so many other legacy characters that we could be exploring. But then that series turned out to be so good for me. I love it. That I'm like, okay, I was completely wrong. Do more like this. Like, give me a brand new character. Introduce them in the Darth Vader comic or something. Like maybe Momin. And then let's explore his story.
Yeah.
Because Aphra that's the series where I think they are just swinging for the fences. And they're like, this is so weird. Let's see if it works. And they are testing things out. And I appreciate that.
I'm sitting here like trying to think of other ways or other time periods that I would want another Vader story. Maybe between Empire and Return of the Jedi would be a cool like book, or like even a young adult book or a comic series to see what is going on in Vader's head between those two movies.
Yeah, I think anything set in that 1 year span would be good. Like, since they wiped away Shadows of the Empire, who knows what happened there?
Yeah.
I want to know what Luke did. I want to know what was Vader thinking after Luke jumped down that chasm in Cloud City.
Yeah.
There's plenty to explore.
I still want a Palpatine book, even though I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I hope it does.
I want Lucinu to write more. I mean, he wrote Catalyst and Tarkin, but it's been 2 years since those came out, so I'm ready for more Lucino books. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would appreciate if we got more comics that got weirder, like Dr. Aphra.
Let's get weird with Star Wars.
Dr. Aphra right now has like a kind of force-sensitive fungus that's keeping somebody alive, and I'm like, this is so bizarre, but I'm into it.
Yeah.
I keep doing stuff like that.
And I mean, they're really opening up their horizons, I guess you could say, with the storytelling of Dr. Aphra, being gay and like that stuff is great. Give me more of that stuff.
Yeah. We're all for representation.
Yeah.
I would be thrilled to see that in a movie. I felt like they were maybe dipping their toes in it with Resistance.
Me too.
I was like, am I reading into this too much?
I'm super curious because it really felt like
the pirate
Tam,
and Tam, yeah.
Yeah, the new lady pirate character that we have and Tam kind of hit it off.
Sonara Score, that's the name of the episode.
And, it is a kids show, and it's totally fine if they're, just friends, because Tam seems like she's got kind of a hard shell, and maybe she wants a girl friend, not necessarily girlfriend, like a female friend to hang out with, and someone that is kind of like her. But also, yeah, I was like, are they insinuating a little crush here?
I mean, she got attached to Sonara very quickly.
Yeah.
But, we're getting off topic.
Yeah.
So yeah, Darth Vader comic, best comic of 2018. I'm trying to, like, the Star Wars comic it's been good, that one I feel like has been kind of treading water for a while, but the Darth Vader one has kept me going every month, and I'm still enjoying reading Star Wars. It's just like I'm ready for them to get to Hoth, and then maybe they'll continue on, and we'll get some content post Empire. But I think that's pretty much it for 2018. All of our kind of favorites of every media, but let's look ahead to 2019. What are you most looking forward to?
Episode 9.
Yeah.
Celebration.
Yep.
Couple of books. Couple of really exciting books. Master and Apprentice.
More Claudia Gray.
Yeah.
Always good.
Padme. I'm ready. Give it to me.
I think I mean, I'm obviously very excited for episode 9, but I'm almost, and this is probably down to communication, but right now I think I'm more excited for The Mandalorian. I'm excited for like an honest to goodness Star Wars TV show, live action, that is targeted to us.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they're, at least from what they're sharing, they're leaning into the fan service, which I'm not opposed to that. Some people hate it, but I'm like, as long as they don't shove it in your face, as long as it's not like R2 and 3PO and Rogue One over and over again, I'm all for it. So yeah, now I'm very much about The Mandalorian.
Yeah. It's also one of those things where us as YouTubers, episode 9 is exciting, but also pretty daunting because of how the fandom has like reacted to this trilogy.
That's fair.
As a whole. We're just kind of like, oh god, what's gonna happen in 9, and how mad are people gonna be about it? So yeah, it's like I don't know. I'm really excited, but also a bit wary of how it's going to end.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, I think people are going to be mad about it. So, but yeah, The Mandalorian right now, everyone seems to be pretty much on board with it. And I think I will be more excited for 9 when we start learning more about it.
Yeah.
Title, poster, trailer, like any details at all, but I understand why they're being very cagey because it's J.J. Abrams and he's always cagey. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, Pippin. Rubbing all over our microphones. Come here, boy.
Aww.
I'm excited for whatever Charles Soule does. Fallen Order, like we're actually gonna get a single player Star Wars game.
Yeah.
I'm still heartbroken that the Visceral one was canceled, but I'll take this.
Yeah.
And then Celebration.
Celebration for sure. We're super excited about. There will hopefully be another Schmodown there.
Yeah.
So
I do want to talk about the Schmodown in a little bit.
Hopefully get to be on that. We didn't submit to be on or a part of any panels, really.
Well, we didn't submit any of our own, but a few other people asked us if they could put our names on their submissions. And
yeah.
I know a few of them got into the semifinals.
And we were
so
like,
we might be on
absolutely, yeah. We'll do whatever.
I think potentially there are 4 possible panels that we'd be on right now. I doubt all of them will get approved, so probably be more like 2 or 3.
Exciting either way. I did my very first panel at DragonCon this year, and it was like an episode 9
speculation
panel, yeah.
What's the word?
And I was really nervous, but I had a lot of fun.
I have been wondering if just this year would have gone differently if we had a celebration. I missed it that much. Like last year, Celebration in Orlando was so much fun, and just it's like constant positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just wondering if we had a chance as Star Wars fans to do that this year.
Yeah.
Maybe people would have chilled out.
If we could have had Celebration in May instead of Solo, and had Solo in December, how would that have made the year different, I wonder?
Yeah. But I'm ready to just be surrounded by enthusiastic Star Wars fans that are happy to be there. I need that. I need that to recharge.
We need
I honestly
it.
do.
We need it real bad.
But yeah, you brought up the Schmodown, and we'll talk about, to close things out, we can talk about this past Schmodown. And it came out a week ago, so if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it because we're about to spoil it.
Yeah.
But yeah, still the champ, still got the belt.
don't have it with us.
No, they won't let me take it home. But yeah, it was fun.
Still hold the title.
It was a whirlwind because we had a wedding on that Sunday. We were recording it on Saturday in LA. So I flew out. Molly got sick, but I flew out.
That was like the beginning of my bronchitis, and I was so sad because I really, really wanted to go. Speculation.
No.
Spectacular is always such a cool experience at Collider, and just seeing not only the Star Wars people compete, but just people doing the regular movie trivia is really fun to watch. So I was sad to miss out on that, but...
So I faced Ken Knapsack, who was a worthy challenger, and took me to the last question. He went the distance.
Yep.
But it was a good fight.
Do you think he's done
I don't know.
after this?
I mean, I know that there's already a match with Scrimshaw, and I think his name is Adam, a newcomer.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to do that sometime early next year. Christian is hopefully going to have me play Sam at Celebration. Who knows if Sam is available?
Fingers
like,
crossed.
try not to build up hype too much around that, but
Yeah.
there will almost definitely be a match at Celebration because we're going, Christian's going. If Sam isn't there, like, I would happily play a bunch of other people and put the belt on the line.
If they if they happen to have like a teen Jeopardy version of Star Wars Schmodown, I will happily play with some people that are maybe more on my level as far as knowledge goes.
Like Bruce.
Like Bruce, yeah, I would play a game with Bruce.
Yeah, but I'm kind of mortified about that just because when you compete at Collider Studios or even the live event that we did, I mean, there were 300 people there, but they're just movie fans. When you're at Celebration, it's going to be like 500 people in that room, and they're all Star Wars fans.
Oh, yeah.
So if I miss a question, everyone out there knows the answer, and they're gonna be like, "I can't believe you missed that." If I have a Nita brain fart like Whitwer did, I'm gonna be terrified of that.
That panel that we went to, we got extremely lucky because we were doing something and we couldn't wait in line.
We were doing the Last Jedi trailer reaction.
Yeah, and excuse me, Ken actually got us in the side door, so we were able to watch it, and that room was packed, and everybody was just losing their minds.
And we had just met Ken like the
really
day
fun.
before.
Yeah.
Or maybe even that morning? No, it was the day before. And then he like exchanged numbers with us, and he was like, "Are you going to be able to make it to the Schmodown?" And I was like, "Oh, we're finishing this thing and then we're going to run over. Hopefully there's room." And he was like, "Oh, just text me when you're here and we'll let you in the side door." So we got to like hang out backstage.
I remember being there and doing that and seeing Sam Witwer and just being like,
"It's him.
It's him. He's right there." Even though we had already met him before at Collider, I was still just...
No, we hadn't met him by that point.
We hadn't?
No, that was the first time we were within inches of Sam Witwer.
Okay.
And then we met him at Collider
Right.
when I actually competed.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
Anyways, both times, starstruck.
So yeah, hopefully we'll have that to look forward to in 2019 as well. I will be proud to lose to him if that's how it goes. Or if they can't get Sam, maybe they can have like Pablo Hidalgo or Leland Chi just destroy me.
Oh god.
That would be fun. I would be A-okay with that.
Is it Thunder?
I think it might be. All right, now the dogs are going insane, which is good timing because we're about to wrap up.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for joining us for our final episode of Between Two Suns for the year.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we'll hopefully try to do this a lot more often next year.
Yeah. We'll have a lot more news to talk about.
Yeah, I think
feel
so.
like.
It's going to be a busy year.
Yeah.
A great year for Star Wars, I hope.
We have some plans for maybe a little post-Mandalorian talk show type thing.
Yeah,
so
we're going to see if we can work out, I don't know, some way to make a big deal out of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Because it should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know.
We should try to get into the Mandalorian mercs before that comes out so that we can get armor made for ourselves.
We can make our own armor, and then we can just talk about the Mandalorian every week with our own Mandalorian suit. Hopefully that's a weekly release thing and not a big batch.
Yeah. I would love to have some of that armor.
Me too. But let us know what you thought of 2018 in Star Wars. Let us know what your favorite books and movies and TV shows were and everything. We'd love to hear what you guys thought and tell us what you're looking forward to in 2019.
Yeah.
But that's going to be it from us today. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for being patrons, and may the Force be with you.